All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So we are doing another view of the AI sector, looking at what I kind of call the sub tiers, right? So we're going to do SoundHound, BBAI, Guard Force, and Bullfrog, BFRG. So look, I've said it on the last couple videos. I know there were a little moments of like good news across a few, obviously some bad news on this one, right? But I overall am not quite ready to put on my I love AI stocks hat, okay? You know, I've been so loud about how much I like the AI stock sector. I've made some really good money on the AI stocks. And again, I'm not here pretending I never said all that or taking any of that away. No, no, no. Truth be told, EV picked up a lot, I think took away a lot of the focus from AI, and really those EV stocks are still running. Look, there's plenty of room for both AI stocks and EV stocks to do well, all right? I'm not saying that there isn't a world that can happen in, but I think right now people are looking at, Lucid, Rivian, Nikola, others like that instead of SoundHound, Big Bear, Guard Force, and things like that, right? That's my opinion of why these four aren't doing it. But yeah, again, there is a world, there is a market where both can do well. It's just, I think C3AI needs to pick up more, and I'll mention that again later as I get into these stocks. But really quick, before we go any further, what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself, and then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to the channel, share this video on the internet, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do really does help me out with the YouTube algorithms, especially sharing the video. I'm not the best at doing that, but look, just being here and giving me your time is super, super appreciated. So look, let's get into it. And man, SoundHound, I am extremely disappointed at how this went, all right? Because in a lot of ways, I was drawing the parallels between this and Palantir, all right? PLTR, all right? Palantir was in this same really tight thing, actually in the same window. Look, April 3rd is right there. SoundHound, again, April 3rd's right here. We're still in that same horizontal. Once Palantir takes off, it just takes off and keeps going, right? And it's really disappointing that we actually there is zero question in my head that that's a confirmation and that's the continuation from the confirmation, right? Like that is what Palantir did. And honestly, look at it, like this line was the border between $4 and almost $8. Okay, so the fact that we got here and have now dropped to 240 is wildly disappointing, all right? But in so many ways, these moving averages really could have helped you escape before losing more than 50% of this force something down to 240, right? So look, I'm not here pretending I'm not sad about this. This is horrible. It really is, because one more time, I actually had $8 dreams right here. I had plenty, I had a lot of money in SoundHound right here. I actually did. I quickly took it out, all right? I think between these, I probably lost most of my profit, but I got out. I got well out, well before we even kissed $3, right? Because again, I always say it, bad things happen under the 8 and the 20. And as easy as it was to, and I'm not even going to say it was easy, because actually this one was really hard, right? But as like we were just over it in a blink of an eye, it felt like these two lines were going to be an impossibility to get over. You know what I mean? And it literally happens in a blink of an eye, especially when something like this happens, okay? Because that's a bad loss of the 8. That's a crazy confirmation. And, we never really confirmed losing the 20 till about here, right? And it's so sad. Because look, I see the 8% day. I see the Friday that closed to a near full, like the high of the day was 242. We closed at 241. You can see those numbers in the box over there to the left, right? Generally, this makes me really bullish for the next day. No, not here at all. At all, because all I see is an 8 moving average going down really fast. I see a 20 moving average moving down really fast. I actually see a 50 starting to completely flatten, if not actually maybe get ready to go. And this 100 went from going up to now kind of like there is so much bad here. And really what went from sitting at the border from 4 something to 8, look, we're not that far away from the border of $1. Okay, because from here to here might be a quick drop. I think it's worth drawing some, and dude, that's basically where we're at. Jeez, I mean, yeah, we're basically there, and at that point, I'm also going to get rid of this line. I don't think this is much, like, this line was obviously 50% candle and kind of the top of this and the bottom of that. I'm actually going to, I think this will hopefully hold a little better. If that doesn't, I just see a green, 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 red, 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 green, green, green. Dude, it actually might fall really quickly from $2 to like maybe $1.50. You know, I think I would raise this line just a little bit. I think I'd put it basically there, give or take. Obviously, this line used to be 50% of this big candle. I'm kind of trying to make this a little bit of a plateau, kind of, and this a little bit of a plateau. I think that's what I'm doing. But for real, big movements up and down are essentially what happened to Soundhound after $2. 202 has to hold. This is the last true horizontal little plateau until basically this, and that's all-time lows. You know what I mean? So there is more to be scared here than to believe. And look, I haven't even said it. We are below all 5 moving at. Look, get over all 5 and fly. Get over all 5 and fly. Fall below all 5 and die. And I think that's what's happening here. I see the 25 RSI. I see something that kind of is flattening out. Like, no, I don't care. I see a MACD that's slipping into negative and going deeper. I'm seeing volume pick up, and it's not like just most of July has been hard sells. Like, this kind of offsets all the greens, and there's still a lot of red. Like, there is a lot to not like here. And again, we are under all the moving averages on the weekly. The weekly hasn't even slipped to the negative. This is a really scary divergence. It's going the wrong way. That's horrible volume that completely is starting to offset that. Like, I'm telling you, I really think this might lose $1. It quickly lost to basically 50%. I'm kind of here saying I'm not going to be surprised if it loses another $1. It's not really 50%, but let's be honest. There's only $2 in this thing, right? And losing one is going to be real bad. Be careful here. I know a lot of people are passionate about this stock. I'm not here to pretend things are good when they're not, all right? That's what I hope you find in the value of my videos, right? So, man, wildly disappointing to think that we were going to go to $8 and now just actually believing we're going to come down to 150. Like, that's horrible. All right. So let's talk about BBAI. And man, BBAI is not looking good, and BBAI has not for a minute. All right. The real scare was losing the 200 moving average. All right. Again, I just said it on the last video. Once you lose all 5 moving averages, really bad things happen. All right. And you know, this 8 wasn't going down like, I mean, obviously it looks violent, just like, you know, hindsight, right? But yeah, that was the point right there. And really, there's the 50 right here. There's so much that just, I often say, right, like if you watch my videos, I would rather wait for this thing to break and get over it, right? Sometimes I say I literally would not trade in the noise. I would just wait for the last break and go. And I think this is a good example of it, you know, and just kind of look at the volume. Volume was never getting over the 50 moving average. Man, this is a rough chart. And again, kind of the same things I was saying on SoundHound. We are nearing the border of a hard gap down, a really, really hard gap down. And man, we're now under all the moving averages as we're saying. Yeah, I for sure see that RSI peaking up. I promise you, that means absolutely nothing to me. Absolutely nothing to me. That's really bad. That's really bad. That's really bad. This little insignificant maybe good is not like, there is so much to be worried about BBAI. And one more time, man, there is a scary gap fall, and we're like, this is the line, because from here to here might be quick, and then from here to here we're starting to drop, right? And yeah, there's some lines here, you know what I mean, but man, I think it actually comes down to 96. Hopefully it doesn't come all the way to the 77. I think this is going to catch it. I think anywhere between $1 something and like 93, if I had to guess. I'll at least draw that line too, just to have it. I think I'm going to do it off this one because there's a few more big candles here instead of the small little ones here. But man, we're under all 5 moving averages. We're at the negative MACD and volume's been horrible. All right. Looking at the weekly, it's been weeks of under the 8 and the 20, and now we are under the 50. Look, none of these are bad candles either. I really think we're going to see, I think next week's going to be scary. I think we're going to get a big red candle that confirms we lost these 3, actually. I am not here to spread fear. I am not here to make you do anything with your money. I'm just giving you an opinions based on these colorful lines, right? But man, these look scary. And one more time, I'm not sold just yet on these smaller AI stocks. Okay, this one's a little interesting here, okay, because obviously this was in the same bad boat as the other two. This was well under moving averages and doing bad things, okay? We get a giant 50 something, almost 60% day, followed by a continuation of 30, right? Like, this really reset a lot of things, and it's rather interesting to see the reaction. Obviously, if you bought up here at 8, it's really disappointing to be here down at 6, right? That's at least a 25% loss, right? That said, look, we're actually still holding. You know, losing the 8 sucks, don't get me wrong. I'm glad we're still over these two, and I'm actually like, this is actually the line. I think maybe I can lift it a little more and call that. Actually, I think this is the line. Yeah, no, I think like it's literally only a little bit higher, but we're holding 50% of this big candle really well. And again, these two are doing the job so far, right? So I would consider an entry at 646. I don't think I can set an alert. I don't think I've deleted my alerts yet. Yeah, I didn't think so. I would set an alert at 646 because hopefully 646 you can ride it all the way back up to like, hey, maybe 780, if not back to actually these two again. All right. That said, I just don't know if Soundhound and Big Bear look so bad that I'm scared here. The one positive is if you watch my other AI video this morning, Palantir looks really good. NVIDIA looks really good. Hopefully those two make C3AI look good. And I think once C3AI look good, that's when these will look even better, right? So even if you have no money in C3AI, I think that's the first place you got to look. And if that starts to do well, this starts to get close to that 646 number, right? Like, get me all like red could be a real quick green, right? Like, this was an easy channel that it quickly rode up. We can do it again, believe me, right? So, yeah, hopefully these two hold, get me over this. It's going to be a little hard to break this, don't get me wrong. But yeah, look, I mean, MACD's actually still in the positive, and volume's trying to stay around that 50. I think money line for sure is this, and I'm going to delete, what's this line at? Give me a second, let me look. I'm going to delete this line. We don't need this line anymore. This is our money line. Get over these two moving averages, and man, excuse me, hiccup. Things might go really, really high. It might, I think that's kind of what I was drawing it at, but no, I'm not going to draw it because really it's just peak up, peak down, peak up, peak down, peak up. That would be the goal. And look, I'm not necessarily saying that this thing's going to run from, let's call it 850 to 21. That's, I think, a little silly. I would probably draw a line like something around here, right? Maybe even something around here. I think I'll draw that. because this 50% candle is almost 50% this candle, almost the top of this. Yeah, I think that's actually a decent. I don't even know if I want to lower it to the. Yeah, I am. I'm going to lower it to top of that, 50% of that, almost 50% of that. But I think going from like 850 to 12 something is real, and then maybe that to that. But again, none of these numbers mean anything until we break these two. All right. And that's a solid like 850 number, right? So, yeah, I'm not 100% convinced here. I'm just not 100%. Like, I was really scared and pretty loud about Soundhound and Big Bear. I think Guard Force has a shot. And again, for me, it doesn't matter until 646, 647. Hey, you can even just go 650 and change, right? So just whatever your risk tolerance is. But Guard Force, again, holding moving averages, not really holding 50% candle as well on the weekly, which is a little bit disappointing, right? Like, this is obviously a little closer to the 8 than these two. But again, I think the same bait, like 888. I think like if you can be patient and wait for this to go into 9, roughly $9 is the money line. You know what I mean? So let's see how this one does. This one is a little harder to anticipate, but I can at least say easier to like than Soundhound and Big Bear. Last but not least is Bullfrog. Okay, and Bullfrog. Okay, look, I talk about pump and dump days. All right, so we're gonna focus a little bit on this 25th. First and foremost, like, let's take a look at the box over there on the left. This thing opens up here at 530, and then it goes all the way down to 499. All right, more people lost 5% than actually made that gap up. All right, because more people saw the news when they woke up, got excited, bought, and then dropped. All right, if I had to guess. From there, I always say, like, there are good days. This is a good day, and then this is a fake good day. And you can see the next 4 days after really say that, okay? This 100 moving average is brand new, and I'm pretty surprised that we kind of landed on it, right? You can see we close at 349. That is exactly where it's at. You can see the 100 average in the blue line over there, 349. Being on the line does not mean you're over it, let alone broke it, okay? I see the 8 and the 20 going up. I would say this. I believe a little bit more in Guard Force. Guard Force than I do Bullfrog. Okay, it's a little bit harder for me as well to put kind of like an entry line, because truth be told, we're sitting in a nice little gap fill area, right? And it, you can easily actually say that like 451 might be a relatively good entry, because you're basically trying to add 50 cents all the way up here, and that's roughly 10%, right? But yeah, I'm not sold that this 100 broke. I also see the gap up and break of the 50. I don't think I'm sold that this 50 moving average broke either. The one thing that's kind of like making it hard to say bad things is the 8 and the 20 are both going up. We're actually holding the positive MACD, right? I just don't like this pump and dump volume. And I think overall I have to lean on not positive. Like, I think I'm bearish here. Like, Guard Force is the only one I would set an alert for and I would watch on Monday. I think the other ones really need to wait until Tuesday or Wednesday in my book. So watch C3AI. If that does well, maybe things change here. But yeah, I'm not quite convinced on these smaller AI stocks yet. So hey, I appreciate your time so much. Let me know what you think. Thank you.